Oh, I didn't see you coming. Hello and welcome to another fun-filled edition of Adam's Music Box. And it was this week that the Doobie Brothers took it to the next level by taking it to the streets. Now, the Doobie Brothers were always very talented musicians that had a great groove together, a brotherly bond, if you will. They were great songwriters. And while it was very unfortunate that in the mid-70s the band's kind of sort of de facto leader, Tom Johnston, got stomach ulcers, he luckily came back, and it also opened the door for a new creative force to enter the band. And this was Michael McDonald, who had already made a name for himself as a member of Steely Dan back when Steely Dan had members. But he was the man who would, in the 80s, come to be known as the man who sung backing vocals for everyone. He had that wonderful voice. He even wrote a song on a Van Halen record, and very few people not named Eddie had that privilege. But it was in the Doobie Brothers that Michael McDonald really got to show the world his great songwriting talent and his ability to, in my view, make a great band even better. And nowhere is this more apparent than on this album, Taking It to the Streets. The title song was an instant classic on FM radio. Everyone was playing it, they were moving to it, grooving to it. It's one of those songs whose ubiquity actually betrays its high levels of musical sophistication in terms of its chordal development, its melodic development, and its interesting arrangement. The same could be said for one of my favorite songs of all time, also on this album, and also written by Michael McDonald, and this is It Keeps You Running. What a great song. The way it builds, the way there's tension and release, the way that there's groove, that understated drum part, the great Fender Rhodes piano playing by Michael himself, the wonderful harmonies from across the band. And I mean, the whole album is absolutely great. The opening track, Wheel of Fortune, is just an absolute, it's just a great one. Turn It Loose by Johnston on the album, second to last track, great. There's really not a bad song on the album, and it was from the years that Jeff Skunk Baxter was doing his guitar thing with the band. You really couldn't go wrong. And I mean, they came out with a lot of great albums following that up. Living on a Fault Line from 77, arguably their most musically sophisticated album, but by now we're into such musically sophisticated territory. That was followed by Minute, which again had a wonderful track co-written by Michael McDonald, but it was taking it to the streets where that new era in a already familiar and incredibly popular band took place. I just wanted to say I love it. And if you're one of the three people who doesn't know the Doobie Brothers because you're too young or were living under a rock in the mid 70s, now's your chance to go and check out a great album that might soon become one of your favorites. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Take care.